Imagine the concrete floor beneath your feet splitting open, not from an earthquake, but from something digging from below. Silent, calculated, 2 meters tall, mandibles capable of snapping steel. If ants scaled to 2 meters, would we survive the first hour? Would our foundations hold, or would they pull our skyscrapers into the dirt? Are we looking at an invasion or an extermination? The ground is no longer safe. The hive mind has awakened, and it sees humanity as nothing more than biomass to be processed. This is the nightmare of total colonial dominance. 2 meters is a massive shift in biology. Ants possess super strength relative to their size. Scaled up, a 2-meter ant could lift a semi-truck as if it were a twig. They aren't just strong, they are hydraulically powered. Their exoskeletons act like living armor plates. A bullet wouldn't bounce off, it would just make them angry. The biggest difference, the hive mind, they don't have individual egos. They don't retreat, they don't negotiate. They execute the colony's orders without hesitation. In a cat, you see playfulness. In a grasshopper, you see hunger. In an ant, you see industry. You see a machine that never stops working until the target is liquidated. Humans build for comfort, ants build for efficiency. Within the first hour, the tunneling begins. Every city foundation is a target. Ants are master engineers. They don't just burrow, they restructure the earth. Your basement, it's now an entryway to a labyrinth that spans kilometers. The first human casualty isn't a battle, it's a collapse. Entire neighborhoods sink into the earth as the ground becomes hollow. We are literally falling into the nest. Panic sets in, but it's the wrong reaction. Ants don't panic. They swarm. They communicate through pheromones, organizing a 1,000,000-strong army in seconds. Can we hide in the sewers? No. The sewers are the highways for the colony. The drainage pipes are where they transport their larvae. The sheer coordination is terrifying. They don't attack like an army. They attack like a liquid. They flow around obstacles, finding every weak point in our defenses. Steel doors. They don't pick the lock. They chew through the hinges. They treat our security measures like paper. The concept of home is over. Inside your living room, you are surrounded by walls that have become part of a massive, living termite mound-like structure. Aggression levels are off the charts. Ants protect the queen above all else. If you are near the nest, you are an intruder. And intruders are dismantled. They don't eat us like lions, they harvest us. They take the biomass back to the nest to feed the larvae. The world is being dismantled, piece by piece, to build the colony. The wood, the metal, the resources, everything is raw material. There is no front line. Every square inch of earth is a potential front line. The war is happening under your bed, in your backyard. We are witnessing the most organized invasion in planetary history, and we are losing because we still think in terms of individual combat. Nations try to nuke the nest sites, but the ants just dig deeper. They survive in the dark, away from the heat. Tropical regions become exclusion zones. The Amazon becomes a death trap. Urban centers like New York or Tokyo become fortified islands. We build steel platforms high above the ground, but the ants are patient. They don't need to knock the building down immediately. They just need to keep us trapped. The terrifying truth, they are farming us. Would they keep humans for labor? The psychological horror is the silence. Ants don't roar like monsters. They communicate in clicks and chemical trails. We can't track them with thermal cameras because they regulate their colony temperature perfectly. They are ghosts in the machine. Our military tech is useless. How do you bomb a tunnel network the size of a continent? We are left with the stilt strategy. Every surviving community is on top of a pole. The world is turning into a giant, living circuit board. The ants are rearranging the landscape. Fear of the floor. That's the new normal. If you drop a phone, you don't pick it up, because touching the ground is a death sentence. Sleep is impossible. You listen for the scratching, the sound of mandibles against the concrete. It's the soundtrack of the apocalypse. The green fear becomes the brown fear, the color of dirt, of moving shadows, of anything that implies an ant. Humanity is forced into total isolation. We are back to the Stone Age, just with better guns. The real nightmare. They are growing. The queen is laying millions of eggs. The numbers are becoming infinite. But wait, is it all destruction? Scientists realize the ant tunnels stabilize the crust. They stop earthquakes. We start stealing their building material. The antcrete they produce is a biological marvel. Their coordination algorithms, we study them. We learn how to organize human society with the efficiency of a colony. Below the stilt platforms, the ground is a swirling, black, moving sea of armor. It is a terrifying ocean of chitin. We reinvent farming. We grow food on hanging gardens. We keep our supplies in pressurized containers. The ants eventually enter a state of dormancy. That is when humanity comes down from the stilts to scavenge. The earth is no longer ours. It is the hive's. But we are still here, hiding in the rafters, watching the empire grow. If you survive this scenario and want to see what happens when the hive decides to look up, like, subscribe, and turn on the alerts. Stay high, stay quiet, and never, ever touch the ground.